It's time to get serious. Now that you've decided to compete in Toastmasters Evaluation Speech Contest, how do we start? If you're a reasonably new evaluator, here are some simple things that you can do in order to start your journey. It goes without saying, it takes time to develop the skills, knowledge, and ability in order to be a better evaluator, and the contests have different variables. If we do this more often, there's a higher chance that we become better and better evaluators. Here are some steps that may help you to get started if you are new to speech evaluations and you want to compete. First of all, we need to be very clear of what are the speech objectives and what do they mean. Every project is designed to have a different project objectives. When you are the evaluator at regular meeting, study these speech objectives and build your evaluation speech according to your speech objectives. When you are working on your own project, also follow these speech objectives and do a self-evaluation on this. In a speech contest, particularly evaluation speech contest, there's a higher chance that the person will try to persuade or inspire us. Look for speech objectives that are around these projects. What are some of the elements that a typical speaker would do in order to achieve that speech objectives? What are the things to look for? What are some of the things that the speakers would likely use so that you know what to evaluate? When we truly understand what are the speech objectives and focus and anchor our evaluation around these, we will collect evidence and deliver a verbal report that fits that objective. The second step is you need to learn and role model other evaluators around you. No matter which club you're in, there's got to be different styles of evaluating in your club. You can also learn from evaluators from other clubs, other districts, and there are plenty of resources online as well. As you are observing the person giving the individual evaluation, table topics evaluation, and general evaluation, what are some of the things that you can learn from? What are they doing well? What techniques have they used? What have they done effectively in order to connect with you as an audience? What are the things that they've done that you probably think that you should avoid? It can be it does not fit your style or it was not effective in general. Role model people around you, learn how they do it, and then develop your own way in evaluating. We learn by practicing, and before we practice, we want to have some role model that you can learn from. There's got to be some member in your club, in your area, or in your district that you can learn from. Role model, better evaluators. The third step in getting your Toastmasters evaluation journey started is anchor around a structure. I personally recommend the command structure for speech evaluation. You just need to build an introduction, an opening, a closing or summary at the end, and then you just keep to three main points that we first started. You praise the speaker, tell them what is it, why is it effective, and what is an example. You recommend, repeat the same, and then you commend, repeat the same. Get good at that. If you can give 3 pieces of solid feedback, that would help the person to improve and it would help you to improve. Once you are more familiar with that structure, deepen your content. Try to avoid all the deliveries, things that you can see. Reason why is another competitor would most likely comment on their use of stage, use of body gesture, things like that. Focus on why, when they use the stage in a certain way, how would that help them to achieve their objectives? How does that tie with the content? Focus on their character development, the story development, the timing that they use. What are some of the wording, languages that you use in order to achieve their speech objectives? So once you get good at CRC, the basic structure, change the content, upgrade your content a little bit in order to be more specific, clear, and add value to the speaker. But it all starts from having a strong structure so that you know when you give your evaluation speech, you get your points right, you get your timing right, you are in the right state to deliver a structured and logical evaluation. There's always a place to start, and if we start from these 3 steps, no matter how new you are to Toastmasters speech evaluation, you will soon develop a new skill set to become a better evaluator. What's next? Here are 3 more steps that you may want to consider once you get over the first hurdle, when you become a reasonably comfortable intermediate evaluator. Now that you have a structure in giving evaluation speech, let's improve on the actual content of your verbal feedback. As you are giving that speech evaluation or comment, you want to be really specific into the what, why, and how. What was good? Why does that matter? And how can we improve, or how can we apply this in the future? Give us specific examples. Look for things that you know other evaluators will unlikely to comment on. Look for unique point that really, if they change that, it would turn their performance around. It would turn their speech value around. It would significantly improve that particular piece of communication. It comes from experience, but most importantly, it is commitment that you want to be very specific in your evaluation. Break it down to what, why, how first. Now that you've been using CRC regularly, you want to enrich that into 3 commendations and 2 recommendations, and then you mix the order around. Depending on the speech, the condition, the speaker, you may want to change the order of recommendation in different places. If you want to sound more encouraging, you start from commendation and then some recommendation and then focus more airtime on commendation. If you want to build up the positive environment, you will start with more commendation at the first and then you have some recommendation. If you want to be balanced, you have the recommendation in between. There are so many ways that you can turn around. It also depending on the style of the speaker, so you can always move things around. Have I started evaluation with recommendation? Yes, but use it carefully because you don't want to sound too critical by starting with only recommendation. The audience may assume that you only use recommendation. But in fact, if you balance this out, experiment with different combination of this, and if you can fit these 5 solid feedback within the 3-minute mark, then this is an evaluation speech with substance, balanced, and with constructive feedback. If you still strive to get better, then you want to look at your evaluation speech as a holistic piece. What is the common theme that you want to bring? What are some memorable imagery that you can share with the audience so that you can remember? How do you organize the point so there's a logical progression of these points? How would that theme related to the speaker's speech? It is an art, not in science. It depends on what topic the person is saying. And what are some of the parallel thinking, association that you can think of? What are some of the analogies that you can think of that maps what have they done in that particular situation with a frame that helps you to present your evaluation speech? Doesn't always work. Sometimes you just need to present the facts as is. But if you can think of some association, parallel thinking imagery that helps the audience to remember your evaluation speech, there's a high chance that you will win in speech contest. It's a matter of experimenting and receiving feedback. Volunteer to be individual evaluator. Volunteer to be somebody's speech coach. Keep practicing giving feedback. Always be writing notes, always be evaluating, and develop a habit and enjoy the process. Personally, I had a lot of fun in being speech evaluators and competing in evaluation speech contests. And I'm sure that you will experience the same. Start evaluating.